Welcome guys. What I'm doing right now is priming Alicia's eyes, and this is with the Urban Decay line. It's really perfect for avoiding creases and allowing the colors to really pop and you can really see them. So that's what I did first, and then I packed it on, just gently patting it onto her lids. Next I was getting ready to apply the Vex matte eyeshadow to her, just the corners of her eye. I probably went in maybe just halfway, and that's with the 239 brush, and just lightly add it to the corners of her eye, and you just pat it on, or I guess brush it on. I find with patting it on after using primer really helps to seal the color in. And that's just what I'm doing right now, is just adding the Vex, and that is a matte color, and that is called Vex. And by the way, that's one of my favorite colors that I love to use, especially in the tear ducts, because it really helps the eyes to pop as well. Next, what I did was with my, I guess you can call it angle brush, as you can see here. It's the 266, and that's from the MAC Holiday line that I got. Just taking the Vex, and what I'm doing now is just lightly putting it in the corners of her tear ducts and kind of her lower lash line, but not taking it all the way to the bottom of her lower lash line, just in the tear duct, in the corners, so that it'll make the eye pop once you bring all the colors together. Alicia has to come and show us. You can't really see it, but once the whole look is complete, you can really see in the tear ducts how that eye is just really popping. Sorry about all the talking. We're actually just kind of new to this, and we are learning how to do the voiceovers and also learning how to, cut and paste videos. So hopefully, you guys can bear with us. What I'm doing now is taking the MAC Shimmer Moss, and that brush that I just showed you was the, it's the 224 brush by MAC, and I'm taking the Shimmer Moss, and I'm just lightly going into her crease and blending it in kind of with the Vex, but not completely with the Vex just yet. And I'm blending into her crease and kind of bringing it down to the bottom to where it meets the Vex. So it's kind of like half Vex and half Shimmer Moss that I'm doing. And this green here is kind of like a turquoisey kind of green. So it's really light. It's not very heavy. And the look that we were trying to go for is the kind of Seafoam-esc, as we wanted to call it that night. So once again, just going into the crease with the 224 brush by MAC, and just light strokes and patting it on the sides. So right here we're just taking the MAC brush, and that's going to be the 224 brush, and we are taking Big T, which is really a pretty color, and we're just going to basically try to make all of the colors come together. This is like the last color to bring it all together. Because first we had Vex, next we had Shimmer Moss, and now we have Big T. So what we're doing is dabbing it in the very corner of her outward lid, and just lightly bringing it up to the crease and bringing it down at the bottom of the lower lid where it's meeting Vex. So it's the crease, upward strokes, and then downward strokes right there, so that you're only meeting where Vex is. You're not trying to overpower Vex or cover it up, but you're only just meeting it, so it's just really light strokes. However, the darker you do in the corner, the better the contrast, so you can put as much as you want, not as much as you want, but try to make the outward part of her lid darker, or your lid, I'm sorry. What I'm trying to do is make it darker. See, I'm putting it right on the lid, so you see where that's where most of the color is located. And I'm just taking the rest of that residue that's there from that color and just lightly blending it in with the Shimmer Moss. And I'm taking it from there, from right there, and just blending it downward as well. However, all of this needs to meet with the Vex, which is on the inner corner of her eyelid. So light strokes upward to the crease. And also don't worry if you're covering up shimmer moss, because at the end of the day, all you're doing is blending, blending, blending. You're just blending that in with the shimmer moss. However, you're going to really see the contrast of colors really come through once you do all of these colors put together. So once again, I'm going back over and just blending inward to the crease and down the bottom of her lid. Thanks, Alicia. Okay. Next, what we're doing is we're going to take the MAC 239 brush, and the next color that we're going to use just to kind of facilitate bringing all of the colors together is I like to add brown, just another hue, just to, you know, accompany the rest of the colors. And I'm only taking very, very, very little of the eyeshadow with me, and it's from MAC, and it's called Brown Down, and I'm only placing it right there where Vex is and kind of bringing it into the shimmer moss. So just light dabs. Don't put it where your brow bone is, because you also have a highlighter color that's going to go there. So make sure it's right below your brow bone so that it's easy to blend as well. Because once we get done, although it may seem like, oh, well, there's just a brown speck right there, you're going to end up blending. So dab the eyeshadow palette and just tap so you're not picking up so much of the eyeshadow, and because you don't want to necessarily pack it on. However, for those of you who really want to have that really deep smoky eye and you want the contrast of that brown there to really pop, feel free to add more and, you know, allow yourself to do deep strokes and allow yourself to pack it on, but not too much, because at the end of the day, you're going to be blending it all together with the blend brush. So what I'm doing now is just kind of lightly patting it and kind of blending it, but not so much, because what I'm going to do is take that MAC, excuse me, the 224 brush. I'm going to end up blending with that, and that's going to end up being the next step. So there's the 224 MAC brush, one of my favorite brushes. And just, I'm going to do circular motions over and over. So what I'm doing is taking that 224 and grabbing where the brown is and kind of blending it into the Vex, and also blending it into the shimmer moss. And these 224 brushes are so perfect for blending. And it's not heavy blending, it's more so really light. So the next step that I'm doing to bring this eye together, I'm taking Grand Entrance, and it's really pretty. It's kind of a really light neutral, I want to say vanilla kind of hue. And the problem with this one, though, I find, is that it's really shimmery, and sometimes it has really extra specks and residue that comes off of it. So you have to be extra careful when applying. So that's why I'm using the MAC 194 brush and just lightly just dabbing it. Now, you could use whatever brush you want. You know, if you have a highlighter brush, you can use whatever brush you want. But I'm just taking this and just kind of dabbing it on so that it's really easy to highlight that brow bone and to not, you know, have that leftover residue that comes from that particular shadow. Just to remind you, all of the shadows that I'm using today come from MAC Cosmetics. It's like, you know, probably 80 to 90%, maybe I feel like 95% of my cosmetics that I use. So once again, the color that I'm using to highlight the brow bone is called Grand Entrance, and that's by MAC. So now what I'm doing is taking my angle brush, which is a 266 MAC brush, and I'm just simply taking the shimmer moss and going down the bottom of Alicia's lower lash line to line it with the shimmer moss. However, I'm not completely lining it. I'm only bringing it halfway to where we put the Vex, so it's meeting the Vex color that's down on her lower lash line. And after that, we're going to end up blending them all together anyway, so it all looks, you know, like it's all coming together at the bottom, just like how it is at the top of her lid. So just light dabs of the shimmer moss. So now what I'm going to do is, So right here is where I'm taking the black eye kohl pencil, and I'm definitely just only dabbing her waterline just a little bit, just covering it a little bit, not heavy strokes, because we don't want to overpower the sea foam at the bottom of her lash line, nor the vex that's at the bottom of her lash line. Just only really just covering the waterline, and that's it for that. Sorry, I am trying to figure this stuff out. But yeah, we've done the black eye kohl, and we just kind of, with the, I'm sorry, not black eye kohl, black liner. I have to play with her hair once. You know, I'm just checking it out. But I did the waterline, and the next step that we're going to do is, I don't really know what this brush is. I got it in some makeup kit. I've had it forever. And I think what I did is taken some of the grain entrance that we put on her brow bone, and because I want the corners to really pop, I've added them into her tear ducts. So I'm only putting it, just dabbing it into her tear duct. I'm not necessarily bringing it down to her lash line or anything like that. I'm just dabbing it into the tear duct, so it really will make the eye pop. And you can kind of see it just a little bit. I hope it's not too far away. Okay, thanks, Alicia. As you can see, it's right there in the corner. A dab here and a dab there. Okay, next with my angle brush from Sonia Kashuk's line, and that's located in Target, I'm taking Copper Tone. Sorry, it's almost pretty much done. I'm taking Copper Tone. This is Blush by MAC, and just dabbing just a little bit. And I'm just doing light strokes from her apple cheeks all the way up to her brow area, kind of, just to kind of give it a contoured look. And I love this copper tone because it's really going to kind of give like a little bronze kind of feel to it. That really will help the look as well. As you can see, it's really looking good here. And I love my angled brush because it really assists with helping. Oh, little doll baby. So we're just blending that right in. If it looks too heavy, kind of smudge a little bit off. I think I do a little bit. But it's really bringing the look together. Because you don't want your cheeks to be too much. Because the eye is what needs to be too much right now for this look. The eye is going to be the most important part of this look. So there you go with the blush. Okay, and this is going to be Alicia's brow pencil. I can't quite remember what brow pencil she uses, but I'm just going along and I'm just highlighting her eyebrows, darkening them up towards the end of them. And I also have my MAC 204 kind of brush to help me pull her brows together as one so that they won't be all over the place. And I'm just lightly bringing them all together here, just brushing them up, light strokes. Don't mess up that makeup that's up there. But some people like to do their eyebrows before they do their look, but I kind of like to do them after. Just, you know, because, I don't know, I'm weird. Everybody has their own way of doing that. But as you can see, it's really bringing that eyebrow, making that eyebrow pop. And the eyebrow is a really essential part, so it's really assisting with that whole eye that we have here. It's really making it pop. Next, we're going to use a lip gloss by MAC. I believe it might be partial to pink, but it's really bright. It's not too overbearing, and it's really just going to bring the entire look together and just really make her eyes really pop. Now, that line that I'm using, it's not the lip gloss or the regular lip glosses that MAC carries. It's called the Cream Sheen, and I really love this not mascara, but this lip gloss because it's not too heavy and you don't need to put too much coats on. However, it does run out kind of fast. As much as if you use lip gloss a lot and you like to reapply, it does sometimes run out quickly. But after we did our eyelashes and everything, we curled our eyelashes and did our eyelashes. And this is the complete look here. And we call this the Seafoam-esc look. Hope you guys like it.